Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we are here for another severe weather breakdown. Now today, we're going to be talking about this ongoing severe weather outbreak that is going to bring the threat for damaging winds, large hail, and possibly even a few strong tornadoes to a certain portion of the United States. Now this is a very special forecast because today I am joined by Mr. Storm.
Buddy.
So, we'll just be going back and forth. I'll give my takes on something, then I'll ask him what he thinks, and we'll both give our opinions on this outbreak so that you guys can get multiple sources of multiple opinions on what we think will happen. So, let's just go ahead and get started here with the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. Now, this will be updated in 18 minutes, so likely before this video comes out, but right now we do have a slight risk of severe weather for portions of the Midwest here. All right, now tornado threat for today. You're gonna have a 2% chance to see a tornado within any given point in there if you are in that green area. That stretches all the way from areas near Kansas City back towards Cincinnati, Ohio. Damaging wind threat. You have a 5% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher within any given point in the brown area there, which again extends all the way from Kansas City back over into North Carolina. So it's a very widespread thing there. And then the hail threat is actually what's driving our slight risk. If you are in that yellow area there, you're going to have a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger within any given point in that yellow area. So right now we actually do have a supercell that has reported to have golf ball sized hail on it there in Illinois. So we got to watch out for that one. That's mainly going to be the one that actually warranted this 15% hail risk. So Mr. Storm, what are you thinking is going to happen at the 0-100 outlook?
I think that we're probably gonna stay with the marginal risk, but definitely for tomorrow, we're gonna get into tomorrow later in this video. But I think tomorrow's really gonna be the main show of what the SPC is going to show. But like you said, I mean, it's been a very active day across the lower Midwest, and so I've been looking at radar a lot, looking at these storms. We've just had constant severe thunderstorm warnings and special weather statements inside of this area. So I really do think that today has been I would say, an overachieving day. Personally, that's what I think, and also, I think that this threat will continue into tonight.
Yeah, I'd pretty much 100% agree with that. We do kind of have one supercell that's causing all the problems here. It's doing golf ball sized hail, but it is just that one. So it's going to track southeast there into Indiana. But anyway, moving on to tomorrow here. This is the enhanced risk, all right? We've been talking about this for so long now because we actually had a day 4 enhanced risk of severe weather. We're at day 2. I would have thought it would have been upgraded by now, but we're still only sitting at an enhanced risk. It does go all the way from northeast Oklahoma back into southwest Indiana, though. Tornado threat. We have lost the 10% hatch risk, so if you're in that brown area, then tomorrow you're going to have a 5% chance to see a tornado in your town, all right? We do have the threat for several strong tornadoes tomorrow still, but now we're not really talking about violent tornadoes. Now we're just kind of talking about a few moderate to strong tornadoes possible here. You know, EF1, EF2 would not totally surprise me if we got 1 or 2 of those. Damaging wind threat for tomorrow. If you're in that red area, you're going to have a 30% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher in your town. So damaging winds are a very real threat for tomorrow. That's part of the thing driving our enhanced risk. The other thing is the hail. We have a 30% hatched risk for hail tomorrow. So if you're in that red area tomorrow, then you're going to have a 30% chance to see hail of 2 inches or larger in your town. Now, if you're in the yellow area, that's a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger. If you're in the yellow area with the black line circle there, that's a 15% chance to see hail of 2 inches or larger. So the threat varies depending on where you're at, obviously, but kind of the general area in the southern plains there is going to be under the gun for some large hail tomorrow. So, Mr. Storm, what are you thinking about tomorrow's SPC outlook?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still a chance we could get up to a moderate risk, but I think the enhanced risk right now is it's spot on. I think it's really good. The tornado threat, I mean, we'll have to look at like significant tornado parameters, see what the HRRR and the NAM are showing as of tomorrow. So I think we may actually end up dealing with another 10%, maybe even a 10% hatch risk by tomorrow morning. It's possible, but we could stay at a 5% tornado risk, which would be great because obviously we don't want a tornado outbreak. But yeah, this is going to be a very significant day, and the wind threat as well. I think there's going to be very widespread damage wind gusts, especially down there into Missouri, so like south and west of the St. Louis general area. And then that hail threat, I think we're going to see gorilla hail, and I think it's going to be big time hailstones like kind of like the outbreak we had a few weeks ago where we had baseball to softball size hail. I think we could actually get a report of over 4 inches in diameter. I think that's how big of a day it's going to be. I think it's going to be the prime time for massive gorilla hail.
Yeah, I agree. It would not shock me if the 10% risk for tornadoes got put back into place or the hatch risk got put back into place.
Yeah.
And I do think that hail is going to be a pretty huge problem tomorrow, especially across parts of Missouri and Oklahoma. So you may be thinking, all right, well, cool, we have an enhanced risk. Going into Tuesday, we have another enhanced risk, right? This is going to be for portions of the lower Ohio Valley kind of here. This is going to be for parts of Appalachia. We got Kentucky, southeast Indiana, southern Ohio, and western West Virginia included in this. This could be a even more significant day than what we're seeing tomorrow. I don't think it will be, but it's possible. We still have that enhanced risk, so really anything could happen. It is quite a bit smaller, but we do have time to see this grow since this is a day 3 outlook. So, what are you thinking about this one, Mr. Storm?
Yeah, I mean, I like this. I think that I feel like it's gonna struggle with the thermodynamics. Honestly, I think that the lower level jet's gonna be pretty strong out there. We are gonna see the kind of the sinking of both the northern branch and the southern branch jet stream. But I think that the cape levels won't be too high. I don't think that the dew points will be too high, but I think an enhanced risk is set in stone. I think it's possible that we'll get a slight risk only, but definitely not moderate risk. I like what we're seeing here. And I'm pretty interested to see what we're going to be looking like as of our tornado, hail, and damaging wind threat tomorrow. Once we get this into the day 2 outlook, I think we're going to see more of like a hail and damaging wind driven line of storms. But again, that tornado threat I think is going to be definitely possible, maybe even up to likely. But yeah, I do like that enhanced risk. I like where it's put. Maybe shift it farther south. We don't know, but we just got to figure out what we got as of tomorrow with the models, and just what they're agreeing with. So
All
yeah.
right, yeah, for sure. So this is going to be an interesting NAM 3KM model run. We're going to be looking at several different clusters of storms here that are going to be strong to severe. I'm going to start off with the north central U.S. for tonight, right? This is where we are seeing our supercells. This is right now, okay? We've got some heavy rain and some supercells, maybe even up here in parts of Illinois. Kind of going to track into areas in Indiana there overnight. All right, we're going to see those at about 11 p.m. They're going to be entering the state of Indiana here. I think areas like Terre Haute, Indianapolis. You could be under the gun for some damaging winds and large hail for sure. You're going to have to look out for that. Eventually, those will move into Ohio, but I think by then, the severe threat will be much lower. I think it's going to be mainly a heavy rain sort of thing. So that brings us to tomorrow, where I'm going to go ahead and actually take us into the south central U.S. We see even by only 8 a.m. tomorrow, Central Time, we've got supercells possibly popping off in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri here. These could cause some severe weather, maybe even an isolated tornado, but I think the greater threat is going to come into the evening hours where we do have kind of a linear threat here in terms of this line of supercells here. I think an embedded tornado is definitely possible with this. Even a strong tornado would not shock me, like I said in the intro. This is going to kind of move into Arkansas, Missouri, even Illinois overnight here. And then that brings us into Tuesday, where we kind of got to go into the northeastern U.S. now, where we see that we do have those supercells still popping off all the way into Indiana, Ohio, possibly even going to move into Pennsylvania. It just depends on if the NAM 3KM is having a good day or not. Then by the afternoon, that line that we were seeing earlier is going to sweep in the portions of Indiana and Ohio. Maybe even North Kentucky gets in on some severe weather action. So what are you thinking about this run of the NAM?
Can you go back to the South Central?
Yeah, South Central. There we go.
Yeah, so in the morning hours of tomorrow, I think you see those showers right there, these very slight showers. That's where I look for the start of convection. That's where you're gonna get the high cloud tops. You're gonna get the deepest convection. Those are premature thunderstorms. So the fact that they're just beginning to fire across eastern Texas means that it's looking like when they're going to be in their strongest state, the more mature state, that's probably going to be a little bit further off to the east. So for those of you in Texas, if you don't do well with that first round of moisture, there's going to be a second round coming, and there it is. You can see there's a small, maybe a few isolated storms in northern Texas, but I think it's more of a northern focused severe event up into Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri, where you're not only going to get the first round, but that second round of convection and just that moisture return. I think it's going to be huge for these storms to continue to fire across the region.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that this is going to be mainly a an Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, kind of those four states event there. Obviously, Texas is going to have a threat for severe weather, but it is going to be a bit more on the conditional side. Then going into Illinois, you could see some stuff, but I'm mainly agreeing with Mr. Storm here. This is mainly going to be a Missouri, Kansas, maybe Oklahoma thing. So that brings us to the watches, warnings, and advisories, right? Right now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning here, all right? Let me actually go ahead and pull up the details for this really quickly. I believe this is still for golf ball sized hail, and yeah, it is. So we do have a 1.75-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind severe thunderstorm warning for Decatur, Illinois. This storm complex is moving down to the south and the east here, and it will likely continue to cause large hail and damaging winds. We do have some flood watches out here in the Appalachia area for later tonight. Some red flag warnings down here in the southern plains. We got a bit of an atmospheric river kind of still here in southwestern California. We got some flood watches, some winter storm warnings. And it looks like, actually, if I go ahead and refresh the Storm Prediction Center here, yeah, there it is. There's the new outlook, actually. So that kind of ruins the whole beginning of this video. But we are sticking with a slight risk for parts of Illinois and Indiana driven by hail. So, yeah.
15%.
Yeah, I mean that's
and it's in the general path of that supercell that's severe warned right now in Illinois.
I 100% think that that slight risk is driven by this one supercell because look how skinny that slight risk is. It's gonna be just that one cell there.
It's almost like in line with what I was expecting earlier in the video, except it's just because the only reason we have the slight risk is basically just because of that one supercell, and then maybe anything that follows up behind it.
Yeah, 100%. So that is going to be it for today, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy this video. Mr. Storm and I are starting to do a few more forecasts together, so you can expect more of these in the future probably, but you really do need to be aware tomorrow into Tuesday here. Have a tornado action plan in place. This is going to be a pretty widespread event here, so do you have any final words?
Could it be an outbreak? We don't know. We're just going to have to go along with tomorrow and see what we're dealing with. And also, if you want more forecasts like these with Davis and I, you can also check them out on my channel. But yeah.
All right. I guess that's it, everybody. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.